Welcome to the Greenway Outdoors podcast. The Greenway Outdoors is also an internationally syndicated TV show on Pursuit Channel and Wild TV. You are now tuned into our weekly podcast hosted by executive producer Kyle Green, production coordinator Jeff Hutchinson, director AJ Beadle, and creative producer Ryan Parks. We live in a world where our natural resources are almost solely protected by funds raised by hunters and fishermen, with over 60% of those funds coming from white males over the age of 55. The Greenway Outdoors team has set out on a mission to create content that would inspire millennials, Generation Z, and new sportsmen and women to get out, hunt, fish, and contribute towards conservation and the betterment of our planet. Welcome to the Greenway Outdoors. Hello and welcome to episode 7 of the Greenway Outdoors podcast. I'm Kyle.
I'm Jeff.
AJ. Ryan Parks.
I can't hear Ryan. Is Ryan on? Is he good?
Hello. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
There we go.
Nice to see you, Ryan.
Ryan.
Hey, AJ, how
Yeah?
middle school bus do I look right now with my headphones like this?
Makes me want to beat you up.
You know what should make you want to beat me up is in middle school, if you wear your headphones like this, you're a loser. But if you wear them like that, uncomfortable, you're cool.
And constantly doing this because you think they're falling off.
But like everybody gets what I'm talking about because we all remember it, except Ryan because he's like 8.
Oh,
yeah, we
man.
didn't have headphones.
Well, I hope
growing
he's
up.
Yeah, you didn't have headphones. Yeah, you
No.
had earbuds when you were growing up.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
still would have beat you up.
Yeah,
Still would have.
yeah. Just because you had the nicest hair in the bus doesn't mean we won't beat you up. My
Yeah.
sister doesn't like your hair long. She keeps bringing it up.
That's fine.
He looks so
makes it
cute with his short hair. Why does he do
She doesn't
that?
have to like
You
me.
should. Hey,
It sounds like Mother Goose.
you should care. Her opinion should really matter to you.
Oh, it does.
She watches this, you know.
Sorry, Laurel.
We just got back.
I'm not sorry.
I'm not either.
We just got back yesterday. Holding on that one.
Savage.
Yep. We got back yesterday from our trip to Florida. Our flip.
Flip to Florida.
It was really cool.
Crazy trip.
On the way back, we flew American Airlines and from Miami to Detroit straight through, and there was nobody else on the plane. Well, there was people
about
on the
half
plane.
full.
It was half full, so we moved up to the front and we had a whole row to ourselves. And I straight up reclined all seats and the one in front of me so that the TV would be facing down at me. And I stretched out and laid all the way across it, straight up laid down with I wadded up a bunch of clothes to make a pillow.
You got so many dirty looks.
I totally
well,
did.
every flight attendant
Yep.
that walked by was like,
Scum.
just
I
scum.
had one leg up at one time. I was like, I am so comfortable right now.
I was sitting in front of you, and I looked back briefly, and I've never seen anyone more comfortable on a plane or more stretched out.
Yeah.
Hey.
Not even in first class.
Hey, I went with no class instead of first
It was
class,
the
and it was
funniest
great.
thing.
I wonder if it would. I know that first class is pretty expensive. If it would be cheaper just to buy 3 seats, and then
And lay down.
you have those 3 seats, and then you just lay down. I feel like it might be cheaper.
And you can stiff the ones that are on standby.
Yeah,
Stiff the ones on standby.
good.
Yeah, yeah.
They earned it by not getting actual seats.
Even
on time.
first class can't lay down.
Mm-mm.
Speaking of travel, because we did have one heck of a trip, Jeff and I we had to drop off our Ram truck to a dealership while we were there because when we travel now, and we'll be making a big announcement about it, although I really just gave it away, but we were driving, we had to go to the dealership to pick up a new Ram truck to drive it around in episodes and stuff like that. So when we
In
get
Florida.
in Florida,
for an unknown reason.
so for when we travel now, we have to go pick one of those up and then drive that around while we're there. And the dealership that we work with was Planet Ram Chrysler Fiat, and they are
There's
like,
a
what a-
Dodge
what a
in
complex.
There. There's a
have
Dodge in there
Dodge, too.
somewhere. There's a, yeah.
but what a dealership. So if you are in Miami and you're looking for a truck, I would recommend Planet Dodge Ram. And Dodge and Ram are not the same company, but they had Dodge, Ram, Fiat, Chrysler, everything. Awesome dealership,
Jeep.
and they were really, really great to us. Anyhow, when we were there, we dropped off the truck the night before our flight because we were going to be flying out at like 7 a.m., so it'd be like 5 o'clock. We're supposed to be at the airport. Let's face it, we're always late, but we were supposed to be there at 5, so we had to
did
drop
really
it
good
off
this
because the
trip, though.
dealership wouldn't be open.
We
Yeah,
had to drop the truck off at 10 p.m. So of course, in true Greenway Outdoors standards, we got there at like 10:07.
Oh, man.
because we went
no.
shopping at Marshall's first, and I helped Ryan get his first awesome suit. so he could be good to go
Wasn't
for
my
the
first suit. but-
awesome first awesome suit.
awesome
I
suit.
saw
First
the
awesome
other,
suit,
I saw the
'cause
other
you-
suits.
yeah.
yeah, I saw the
Because
other
you
ones.
picked it out.
Yeah,
was
exactly.
specific.
It was nice. It was a Calvin Klein sport suit.
X Sport X.
X.
It's what all I wear, but whatever. And you can do like the line from Back to the Future where you're like, "That's your name, isn't it? Calvin Klein."
It's written on your underwear.
It's written all over your underwear. I've never seen purple underwear before, Marty. So anyhow, it's like digressing horribly. But anyhow, when we dropped it off, we had an Uber driver pick us up. And we got in there in typical Greenway Outdoors fashion. Jeff and I were the only ones. AJ and Ryan were at the
Still shopping.
condo partying. But we had to get an Uber back, and it was like a 40-minute drive back to our resort. And while we were driving back, I just got into conversation with him, even though he said he spoke little English. But he actually spoke a lot more than I thought he would.
I translated like a little bit.
One of
Most
them
of
was
them
key.
were pretty extreme words that if you didn't know Spanish, you're like, you said something that I don't agree with.
No, I'm not sure if he. Yeah, we'll get to that. But he was actually from Venezuela, and he was here on what was called a political asylum. That was the word.
Yep.
Different than an insane asylum. And I asked. No, I'm just kidding.
You kind of have to.
Yeah, it was a political asylum because of what's going on in Venezuela right now. There's a ton of protests and a big backlash. Their inflation rate has skyrocketed. There's no food on the shelves. And what he explained to me, and this is a 25-year-old kid, he explained to me that the inflation is so high that to work for a month, you would make about $2. And that's what would be the value of a bottle of water. And nobody has money for food. People are living off reserves. There's nothing in the grocery stores. There's rioting. There's all that stuff going on. And I was talking to him. I said, what was the cause of this? Because like you watch the news and you're going to get one answer. And let's face it, you can't really trust any news or any mainstream media.
Nope.
They're biased one way or the other. And it's, so what is it that happened? And I was talking to him and he said, well, basically the corruption of the police forces and the government and extreme socialism being enforced and corruption mixed in there just created an environment where there was rapid inflation and the people right now are at war with the government fighting back because their entire country imploded. And once people can't eat anymore and the governments are just sucking you dry and the government runs everything, every aspect of your life. And I asked him, I said, so can you explain to me, like, what do you think you're here now? And you're working here. He was an Uber driver and stuff like that. I said, what is your life like? And he said that he now works all day, every day, but he can afford food. He said, in America, you work harder than you do there, like a lot harder, but you're happy to because you can earn your own money. He goes, I kind of own a business by having an Uber, by being an Uber driver. I basically own my own business. I can work my own hours, do my own thing. He goes, you're not allowed to do that, like own a business. You can't just start a business. You can't like have an idea and just start it there. You can't do that. And he's like, here, I can do that. And he sends a bunch of money back to his family in Venezuela. And he said that he actually has a deep appreciation. And like, I'm not going to get political at all. But one of the questions that he asked me, he said, would you like Trump or do you like Obama? And it's pretty obvious what my answer is going to be.
Here we go.
No, it's pretty obvious what my answer would be. But his answer was interesting, and he said that he can relate to Trump because in Venezuela, when they would have people come in from Colombia and there was a bunch of issues with that, in his country, they were against it. And he said, if you look at what's happening here in some instances, he could see why the ideas are what they are. And it's really interesting anytime you can get someone's perspective that they grew up in a different environment, understand everything very differently, and have gone through catastrophes that we don't even understand. Like,
No.
Not at all.
Go to a grocery store and get whatever food you want anytime here. That's never and it's because of true capitalism. And the government doesn't decide what's on our shelves here. The government doesn't. And he said the one thing that they do have there accessible often is pasta, because the government owns all the pasta companies. So they'll sell pasta for reasonable prices, and then everything else is insane because of insane taxation that they put on it. So everyone just buys their stuff. Or they'll make a bunch of money in tax. It's just insane. Ryan, you did some research on it, too.
I have some facts on it written down here.
Mind-blowing.
That are going to surprise you.
Hit me.
Okay, so the first one is $1,000 US is equal to, anyone want to take a guess?
I don't even have a clue.
$248,521,000 there. $1,000 is
Good
equal to
God.
And that's
$250
that's
million.
because of the inflation. Like
Right.
you're looking at, because inflation happens, your dollar becomes nothing. That's why a bottle of water would be the equivalent of like $2.
Right.
Because he said if you work for a month, you'd make the equivalent of $2.
Yep.
But that would only get you a water. That's starting to make sense now, AJ.
Yep.
Because you and I at first were like, what?
That was
Yeah.
insane.
The U.S. inflation rate is 2.9% currently. Theirs by
Pretty
the end
fair.
of the year will be 1 million. Their
1
inflation
million.
rate.
And we're panicking over the 2.9.
Yeah.
Whether it makes sense or not.
Yeah.
1,000,000% is
Yes.
their inflation rate.
Yep. And ours is 2.9.
That reminds me of was that movie Euro Trip, where they're in the hotel in the foreign country,
Careful.
and he tips the guy like
Oh.
a
A
nickel,
nickel?
or
Nickel.
something. He goes,
A whole nickel.
"I opened my own hotel."
And he slapped him in the face.
But to put that into perspective, though, I mean, U.S. inflation rate 2 point whatever percent, so like a single digit number, to the fact that it is over 1,000,000%. I mean, like 2 compared to 1,000,000 is just light years in between, and you're talking about a real country doing that, and it's like it's just unfathomable
Catastrophe, complete failure.
to put that into to just process that mentally.
And
I
hearing
understand
meeting
how it's
him and
done.
understanding that apparently in Miami he lives in a what would you call that?
bodega.
We didn't want to say ghetto because it's not ghetto.
It's a community that they set up for these people that are here on the
Political
asylum.
asylum. It's like apartment complexes in neighborhoods next to each other for all the people from Venezuela, which basically, and I'm not even being weird, most of the Uber drivers are from Venezuela there. Like, that's where they come from. They come from Venezuela on political asylum, and they all become Uber drivers and then work other jobs too.
Yep.
Because that's a good, quick way for them to basically control their own hours and situation. And he's like, I work 19, 20 hours a day, sleep for 4 or 5, sends a lot of the money back to his family. And he said that he was actually nervous to go back. The program has him here for 3 years, and he's like, I hope to God the war is over and this situation is over, because if it's not, when I get back, I will be hated by the government and everything else, and they'll make his life hell, because he left to escape from that situation and quit feeding the corrupt government and the terribleness there. Talking to him has never made me appreciate the Bill of Rights, the Constitution, and free enterprise more in my entire life. Like, the fact that we have this beautiful system and we're actively trying to ruin it right now, but the way people are thinking now. But true free enterprise, true freedom, the Bill of Rights, the Constitution, these things that protect us, and small government that I hope we get back to, is just so awesome, because like, we had an idea for a TV show and we got to start it. He doesn't have that.
Yeah.
He never had it. His family is living off reserves, and he's working as an Uber driver to send them back all the money he can so they can have food, because the government decided that there. And it's just, honestly, it was heartbreaking.
It was pretty eye-opening.
I've never connected on such a, like, not, pity's not the word, because he wasn't looking for that. It was like
Sympathy.
sympathy. I've never connected in such a sympathetic way to someone, even from like, he's like, my family would kill to be a homeless person in America, because then I can start whatever I want. And he also laughed about minimum wage. He thought that was funny. That minimum wage is just such a comical thing, because it's a ladder in America. You can work all the hours you want. You can, as an Uber driver, there's no such thing as minimum wage. Why would there be a minimum wage? Makes no sense, because it's a ladder. If you're going to stay at minimum wage, then you're probably going to want it, but to be higher. But if, like, he's like, as a homeless person in America, you've got endless opportunity. And I was like, he is so right. And it's like, he has a perspective that we can't understand.
Yeah.
Literally. And, like, you can't even try to have
You
it.
can't, and like, you almost have to like take his side in his opinion on America, because he knows the opposite,
Yeah.
that we can't,
don't- yeah.
we can't know.
He's definitely experienced it.
And I'll say real quick that, as you said, it made us appreciate what we really have here, and I haven't always felt that way. But you would think that some type of coverage or media coverage would cover it more to make the viewers more sympathetic and more thankful for what we have here, because
It's not done that way.
We got a ground zero perspective, no bias, none of that, just telling it how it is.
Right.
And that alone was just like this. How can that even be a real thing? But no one talks about it. It's not talked about at all.
Right.
It's pretty crazy.
The other thing that I thought was interesting was I didn't know what political asylum was. I had never heard that term. Obviously, I almost forgot it today, but I had never heard that term before or knew what it was.
He came here from an insane asylum.
And for him to go through that process and then get to come here and he goes, "Oh, I was screened like you wouldn't believe," and he's like, "Of course, though," but he's here, so it's like that system's in place, and we screened him properly and did that, and that was like kind of a comforting thing too. It's like there is openings, you just got to do it right.
Yep.
But I just wanted to touch on that because to me, I've never been so sympathetic to a human being in my life that I connected with him in such a way. He's here with his brother right now, and you could tell he genuinely missed his family, but he was so grateful that, nobody's waiting in line to get into Venezuela right now. Nobody's waiting in line to get into Denmark. People come to America because it's a place of freedom. And the reason why we are the most successful country in record time, the most successful country in record time, is the Bill of Rights, Constitution, Founding Fathers had the right idea, and small government, where the people, this science experiment called, a people-run government is in place. And for that, I am thankful to be an American. I can tell you that right now.
I have a couple other facts.
Hit us.
If you want to hear them.
Yeah.
So because everything's so expensive and food is so expensive, the average person in Venezuela has lost 24 pounds due to hunger.
Oh my God.
And it is expected that 300,000 infants will die from malnutrition.
Jeez.
And then I heard this through word of mouth, and I tried to look it up to verify it. So take it with a grain of salt, but I can believe it, that the Venezuelan government, when an infant dies in a hospital due to malnutrition or a disease of some sort,
Oh my
because
God.
people can't afford it, when the infant dies, it doesn't go down on the records as such. It gets tossed to the side.
Like almost like an abortion, or like it never had a name, or
Yeah, like
It just doesn't go as
it
a
just doesn't
stat,
count.
as
It's
a-
not a stat. So because of the way that, because they can't
They
feed
are
the
already
child,
born.
it just, that statistic gets thrown out the side.
So like one out of every whatever doesn't make it out of the hospital.
and if the moms are unhealthy because of
Yeah,
lack of food.
that was another thing I read about, is that many of the women that are pregnant, them plus the child both die because there's nothing.
Yeah.
There's nothing to feed them. There's nothing to take care of them.
He said there's absolutely no health care, and if you're sick, you can't get medicine, you can't get help because everything's government run, and the government
Yeah,
is
If-
corrupt. And
if you go to the hospital, you have to either try to buy your own supplies, buy them off the black market, and bring those to the hospital.
and then if you buy them
help.
off the black market, you can get in trouble by the government.
Right.
What a system.
What a system. What
Here,
else you
cut
got?
into me. I brought this scalpel. World.
Well, back on health, and how terrible the hospitals are there. 13,000 doctors have left the country.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's going to leave the country that can. That doesn't. A
Yeah.
doctor would be the most equipped
Yeah,
to do so.
and
That doesn't.
So now they have no means of helping people because all the doctors are gone.
Yeah.
And you can't blame them.
No, I mean, no,
Stay
you
in that
can't.
environment.
The thing that I don't understand is how does you think that system would benefit someone? And that's the reason why it's
It does. It benefits the government and the police.
But once
It
it's
does.
that messed up, once there's that
No one
lack
wins.
of anything, no one wins. No one can be getting anything.
Well,
no
that's-
one can pay taxes, so who's funding the
That's
government?
I mean,
crazy. I don't
it's
understand. It
it's
doesn't-
it's very obvious that this isn't a new thing. Socialism and communism governments have risen and fallen over and over again. Like it's
So many.
history over and over and over again. And then everyone goes, well, if we do it right this time, it'll be fine. And it's just not. It doesn't work. And that is why this is the greatest country on earth. We have true freedom, true capitalism, true opportunity. No government. We're not asking for government to take care of us. We can do it ourselves. It's beautiful. God, I love it. I just love this country. I'm so glad to be here. Like it's just, and I want people to have the opportunity to come here. I want other people. I want him to be an Uber driver and continue and come up with other business ideas and continue to better himself. I love it. I love it. I just love that opportunity. Love it. But
That and we as a country, we were talking about this earlier, that Rome didn't fall from outside countries; it fell from within.
Yeah.
And we need to take care of our system and make sure everything's run properly, or the same thing will happen to us.
That was a quote from Benjamin Franklin, actually. He said, "We have built the perfect system. The only way that it can collapse is from within, and if we do it to ourselves. And if we continue to move towards the socialism, communist mindset, that we'll do the same thing.
Yeah,
absolutely. We have to be grateful for what we have. Opportunity. I mean, the word is so beautiful. I love it.
Yeah. You
Freedom.
can do whatever you want.
Besides all that, and I just wanted to touch on that because I connected with him, and I guess I didn't anticipate it being a 15-minute thing, but I just appreciate his perspective, and I'll continue to say a prayer for him. And it was nice meeting him, and I'm glad that he has the opportunity to be here in this beautiful country like we do, the way we were born with that right. And it definitely refreshed a perspective for me of the gratitude that I have for being in this country. So aside from the meeting an awesome Uber driver, I talked to a bunch of other people while we were in Florida, and we had a pretty awesome trip. We ended up getting to go out and finally go out for Python, which we talked about last week in our last podcast. It was fantastic. It did work out well. The guys fed me to an alligator at the where were we? It was in the Everglades. It was like a tour place.
Coopertown.
Yeah, we went there to shoot some B-roll of like pythons in tanks, as pets, because that was how a lot of them were released. But we actually learned that the reason why the python problem has gotten so big wasn't just people releasing pets. There was also a big, what hurricane was it that took out?
I think they said
Ivan?
Andrew?
Andrew.
That's it, yeah.
Peter. No. No. Ivan or whatever, or Andrew, whatever it was. There was a facility, a breeding facility for pythons for pets and food there, and they got out because of the hurricane, and that was actually one of the bigger reasons why there was a lot of them. But it was really interesting. We ended up getting 3, an 8-footer, a 10-footer, and an 11-footer roughly. We didn't measure them because they bite, but
I wrestled that one for like 15 minutes.
That was amazing. You took that like a champ.
You were a wrangler.
That was rough.
I actually give you a lot of credit because I wasn't feeling
Now let's keep handling it and measure it. It's good. It's about.
Yeah, it's about there.
They have teeth. I got an iguana too, but we'll touch on that in a minute. But we also did peacock bass fishing, which was fantastic. But anyhow, when we went out, we ended up getting 3. The episode will be incredible. Jeffrey was a total man. He chased one down on foot by himself, grabbed it by the tail, and wrestled it until I got there to help with the bag. And just imagine a 10-foot python bending its body in half while you have its tail, and it's biting you.
Dude,
this is stranded
that
puppet.
thing was ready to go.
And it wasn't on purpose, but Ryan tried to get a close-up. He tried to get a close-up while Jeffrey had the snake, and the snake bit the camera like 2-3 times, and also bit the microphone and ripped it off the camera.
Yeah, ripped it right off the camera.
Which I looked at the cameras then and realized the microphone's here, and your hand is right here.
Yeah, it was very close.
And the thing is he got the entire microphone in his mouth.
Oh yeah.
If he had just kept going, and there was nothing stopping him from doing so, if he went another like 3 or 4 inches, he would have
definitely got me. Absolutely.
with those little
razor sharp
backwards aiming teeth, and once they lock on.
Oh yeah.
If they don't want to let go, you're stuck.
Yeah,
that's where you're at.
Yep.
So mean.
I was just glad AJ got pictures of it. There's blurry pictures of the snake's head flying around with its mouth open.
They're not that blurry though. The one where he's got the microphone, I screenshot it and sent it to like 15 people today, and everyone's like, "Oh my god!" I was like, "Yeah, Ryan has 2 fingers left." But it was nuts. And
it was awesome.
That Python episode is gonna be insane. I cannot wait.
Be cool.
And then we went out for peacock bass with like one of the coolest guides we've ever met.
Awesome.
And
so laid back, but so informational and friendly, and like the perfect everything you could want.
Yeah,
everything you could want.
Captain Dr. Drew.
Yeah, nope, just Drew.
Never doctor.
Yeah, never
again.
But no, his name was Drew, and the name of his company,
Drew's Guide Service.
Real original Drew. All right, he's not a creative, but no, Drew's Guide Service.
Hey, you know what?
He said his brother was the creative one.
Yeah,
because if you Google it, you find him.
So Drew's Guide Service, he takes people out for peacock bass in Miami, in different canals and stuff like that. And while we're there, we actually got an iguana too. And the way they catch iguanas is you actually put a piece of apricot on a fish hook, and you catch them like fish, and then you quickly kill them. And it sounds like a super easy process, and it's not.
It's not.
It's
it
not.
fights you the whole. No, well, number one, you hook into it, and it's the first time I've ever seen where we've hooked into something and it just kind of went and looked at you. It's like, it's
The first
it's
thing-
aware of my existence
The
immediately.
first thing he said was, "We're doing this." Okay, you be ready.
If anyone ever decides they want to hunt for iguanas, I would strongly urge you to look up the anatomy of said iguana before any type of
Research it
type
heavily.
of hunt
Yeah,
or
and
capture.
So we reel that sucker in, and he's mad the whole way in. But he at one point he goes, "Okay," and he swam towards the boat, which is when I got scared.
Yeah.
And then
Fine, I'm coming.
I was more scared of that iguana than I was the pythons. And then
Well, the worst part's when he put the net in like he was going for a fish, and I'm like, this is going to work perfect. And
Yeah, he'll
as
net
he
'em. We'll be good.
Right as he gets the net on, the iguana turns and climbs up the net
At
and
us.
comes at his hand, and he's like, and he just sets the net down.
It's a big dinosaur.
And
It is.
It really is.
Of course, I got the biggest one on the shore too. I
Yeah.
got the huge mad male.
Yeah.
And then you have to euthanize them quick.
You got to know where the brain is. You got to be able to do it
It's a-
first try, because if you don't, then it's potentially animal cruelty, which is a
Yeah, and you don't want anything to suffer, so
Yeah,
it's a
of
quick,
course.
quick, sharp blow.
sure
And then we get to make iguana tacos, which I'm actually pretty excited about.
chili citrus.
And the rest of the trip
That
was
sounds
awesome.
amazing.
We went to Top Golf, which was wicked cool.
That was
I had
cool.
never been there, and we had a good time doing that. That's actually the peacock bass there in the picture there. Just a beautiful fish.
They're awesome.
We got some fillets off of those
Red,
too.
Orange, blue, green.
It was also wicked funny when we had to sneak back into the resort with an iguana and a peacock bass so
Yeah.
that we could fillet them.
Oh, there's the jellyfish.
That's a jellyfish. That's Ryan with his lovely. That's like my favorite picture of us as a
That's
group.
an awesome picture.
That's so awesome
AJ's
right there.
so majestic. Look at him.
It's like Ryan, he's taking the picture, but he looks like the one who didn't realize we were taking the picture. But who got stung by jellyfish? I did not.
I did.
got
I
it
did
in the
not.
foot. I got it in the back. It was
Your-
while I
your
was
neck
it
and
was
your
while
back.
I was boogie boarding.
Yeah, I got it also on the bottom of my foot and like in my armpit area down the side of me.
Yeah, of course. Leave it to us to go and just get stung by jellyfish.
Yeah. Well, we went to the beach and there's me again. Went to the beach and we just went swimming, and then we get out and I felt the stinging, and then the lifeguard comes out. He's like, "Yeah, there's jellyfish everywhere." We look at the beach and it's just riddled.
Oh God, it's like salt and pepper down there.
Yeah.
The funniest
they're
thing
everywhere.
is when we got there, we're like, "Look at this! We got the beach to ourselves. Nobody's here." Yeah, because nobody else is dumb.
No one else wants to swim with the jellyfish.
But of course we did, and we did good though. At least some of us did good boogie boarding. I learned that Ryan can't do it,
Nope.
but he's like, "Don't bring it up."
Who won the second round of Top Golf?
In the
By
in the
a
ugliest
landslide
he did.
for no reason.
I don't know how.
The
I don't know
ugliest
how.
shots I've ever seen, but they were just landing where he
when
needed
it was
them to.
when it was just actual consistency, I won the first one. Second time, I don't know what that was.
I don't know.
But
I don't know.
What offends me is I connected with every ball perfectly. And
You had some
I didn't win.
amazing
You
hits.
did
But
have
didn't
some good
win.
shots, I'll
But
give you
didn't
that.
you
win.
were also very consistent, but you were just consistently not on target.
Story of your life. Oh,
No, I did a good
man.
job.
I did again.
I
We
won
just-
the first time.
We just get savage.
We did win. That's right.
I know. I don't even want to talk about it. I'm a consistent second placer. But yeah, the Florida trip was fun. Sneaking back in so Jeffrey could clean the iguana and the fish in the
Yeah.
in the condo was pretty funny when we were on the 23rd floor.
Unless Mike is listening and we did it somewhere else.
And then we tried to get we tried to get in the elevator, and then there's like other people, and Ryan's carrying like a 3-foot iguana.
Yeah. I'm like trying to hide it behind my body the best I can.
I'm pretty
They're
sure
just
that
looking at us like freaks.
pretty sure that was not allowed.
We
Like,
should talk about the first day of python hunting.
What do you mean? Oh, where we
Canoeing
went out.
out.
It's 0% chance of rain. Gorgeous out.
Gorgeous.
We head out, and we get to the point where now we're so far away, we're helpless, and then a thunderstorm rolls in.
Oh my
Out of
gosh.
nowhere.
Out of nowhere.
Literally nowhere. And within 2 minutes, it was like sunny day, hurricane.
Monsoon.
And I was just out there like, I had the GoPro running, so it'll be able to be in the episode.
Yeah.
But it's like, this is us.
We'll remember it forever. We'll remember it.
I'm good. The cameras survived. That's all I care about. Is if we don't lose equipment,
Somehow,
And the trip worked
somehow
out.
it survived. It was a downpour and it was windy. I was scared in that canoe too.
That was scary.
That was a sketchy one.
The pocket that I had the box for my mic and my cell phone in, I flipped it out when I was done, when we got in, and it had water, like sitting water
Really?
in the pocket. I'm like, oh no, everything in my pocket's ruined, and none of it was.
Good thing the iPhone 10 is waterproof.
resistant.
Did we lose one mic or no mics?
No mics.
No mics.
We thought we did because of the, but then it was fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, adding it. You always add up the price of everything that's lost. And,
Yeah, like the gimbals too. We didn't have anywhere to even set those, so they were just sitting out in the rain. But they worked fine.
Thank God.
The next,
know.
yeah.
A little luck never hurt anybody. I prayed while we were out there, so that helped probably.
unless the company that does the insurance for our equipment is listening, in which case,
It's all broken.
great day, and nothing happened.
Nothing. The equipment wasn't in danger at any time, and
We had tarps,
We had
and it only sprinkled a little. It was fine.
that's actually pretty funny. When we come back, we're actually going to be talking about the couple conversations we had with guides regarding the military and PTSD and how hunting is actually helping them. Stay tuned.
The Sportsman's Alliance works to protect your outdoor passions. For nearly 4 decades, the Sportsman's Alliance has fought to protect and advance hunting, fishing, trapping, and shooting in all 50 state legislatures, in the courts, in Congress, and at the ballot box. The Sportsman's Alliance continues to be the leading organization fighting coast to coast against any legislation or action that threatens your outdoor heritage, while also proactively advancing legislation that allows more opportunities for sportsmen and their families. The future of our outdoor heritage rests with the passion of sportsmen. By becoming a member of Sportsman's Alliance, you'll take an important step to help protect and promote hunting, fishing, and trapping from attacks by animal rights activists. Join the Sportsman's Alliance today to create a powerful and unified voice for sportsmen across the country.
Take the guesswork out of diver duck hunting with Jeremy Ullman of MI Guide Service. Offering everything you need for a successful hunt at great prices, you're sure to have a blast. We offer open water blind and layout hunts in Lake St. Clair, Saginaw Bay, as well as custom hunts in Michigan's Upper Peninsula. We've also got your fishing needs covered with trips available in every season. Go to miguideservice.com to book your hunt or fishing trip today.
Eagle Review is the review and ratings platform for thousands of international shooting and fishing destinations for virtually every game species. It is free of charge, and it helps you to find the perfect place and to book your fishing and shooting trips directly with the owner or agent. You can easily find unique places in virtually every corner of the world. Find your dream destination by selecting a location, a method, and a species that you are interested in. Once you've made a selection, you can easily compare destinations and find out what other people have to say about their experiences. It's the way to find your dream adventure, compare your options, and choose your trip. You can then help others finding their dream adventure by writing your review. So join the community and share your passion. Eagle Review. Find your dream shooting and fishing destinations.
Hot Shot Outfitters in Port Hope, Michigan is the destination for whitetail deer, crow, waterfowl, rabbit, predator, and turkey hunts. We have cabins, over 30,000 non-fenced acres, and a passion for delivering fair chase hunts to you and your family. Reserve your hunt at hotshotoutfitters.com today.
Hello and welcome back to episode 7 of the Greenway Outdoors podcast. The next topic that I'm going to cover came up because we had 2 guides that were super passionate about it, especially the Python guide.
You talking about Tom Rahill?
Tom
Swamp Apes?
Swamp Apes, baby.
Tom Rahill.
Yeah.
Great guy. Tom's awesome.
Yeah.
Like super sweet. Within 3 minutes, we got like schooled on liberty and the the Bill of Rights and stuff and the Constitution on this trip. We pulled up, met him. I had never even spoke to him, and within 3 minutes before I got out of the car, he was on a full rant.
Ted Nugent was mentioned. Libertarians were mentioned.
Yeah.
He actually took an interesting stance before we get into the military thing. He's actually a vegetarian unless he hunts it himself.
Yeah.
Because
Is that what he said?
Yeah.
I didn't understand.
I had trouble tracking it.
I didn't get it.
I didn't quite understand. He said that he was a Nubian.
Yeah,
A Nugent.
that's
But
where I
the
got,
T was
Nugent, but
silent.
The T is silent.
that's where I got confused.
I don't.
That in some way related to eating meat that you
Well, that's 'cause-
acquire, you harvest,
Well, that's what
but then
Ted
not eating
does.
meat otherwise.
Ted hunts all of his own food.
But why is the T silent? I didn't.
That's I get it.
vegan. It's like vegan.
He's
He
a
said it
watered
6
down. He's
by
like
the
a watered down.
By the
Ted
time
Nugent, maybe.
by the time I built up my courage to ask what that meant, he had already said it 6 times,
Yep.
and I would have felt rude.
He's saying it as though we knew.
We're gonna have him on as a guest on the podcast so we can ask him to his face then. But you know, like those situations, like you meet someone and they give you a lot of information the first 8 minutes you meet them, and you're just taking it all in.
Go for. I mean, he's passionate about what he does, and he knows a lot.
He's
so
like
you
one of
let
the-
him go, and he will go, and he'll talk to you for hours.
He is one of the most educated, smart, awesome, amazing people we've ever worked with.
Wicked
He
smart.
knows just about everything there is to know about what he does.
Right.
Of all
And he's
the
extremely passionate.
hunts and guides that we've dealt with, because there's been a plethora of, he was the first one that writes his own poetry,
He does write his
He
own
does,
poetry.
Yep.
And he's not bad.
And children books.
And children.
very Dr. Seuss like. I appreciated that about him.
And he's got an incredible family, and he's just a really good guy. I like him a lot. But anyhow, talking to him, one of the things that he does and he's real passionate about is working with military members that had PTSD.
That's actually the main
That's the main reason why he does
reason
it.
why
that's true.
Swamp Apes is a thing, and then he also guides other people just as an
Job,
additional
like tour,
yeah.
a big job type thing. I don't know why I use the word tour.
yeah, of
does-
duty. I don't know.
But he takes military people out and actually people that are dealing with PTSD, and you could easily see why he would like almost act as like a therapist in humanity
Yeah.
in general, just because he's so smart and sweet and nice. And
Yep.
how old is he? Like he's probably in his 60s?
No,
50s,
no.
He said like
50s,
51 or 2.
50s,
45.
40s, 50s.
Well,
I don't know.
I don't think it was ever mentioned.
I don't think so.
I
Either.
think he's around 50, 55.
Okay, so yeah, he's but super nice guy. Well, I look like I'm 8, so I have to, I guess wrong all the time. Hey, if you age like me, then you're like, but what are you, 40? No, just kidding.
About.
Um,
Hey, we've been mistaken for father and son before.
That did happen.
I think that's more of a bad on you than it is on me, though.
Positive of that.
Yeah.
Positive of that. Maybe I'll just grow out my beard. You know what I mean? Like if I feel like it.
Totally.
Just feel like it.
You did. You grew your mustache that one time, and you looked like Pedro from
Napoleon Dynamite.
Napoleon Dynamite. So I would just recommend you don't.
Feel good about yourself right now?
Yeah, I do.
So anyhow, he was
He mentioned the word veteran. It came up more in conversation than I think I've ever heard the word veteran prior to then. And it got to the point where I look over at you and I go, like, I fully support what he does, and I love that he's doing that, and this is how he chooses to do it. But if he says the word veteran one more time, and then he goes, oh, man, I went and saw my veterinarian, and they were like, oh,
but he,
loophole.
but he takes vets out, and what he does is he found that ones that have PTSD, he's had a lot of success stories of people saying like they're like lions caged at that point, like they dealt with war and all these issues, and they don't know how to relate or explain those things. They have a lot of problems because of it. And going out and hunting for python, something that's so primitive and you do with your hands, and it's so difficult, and the adrenaline rush and the scariness of it and all those different things, that is like a form of therapy for them. And he's super passionate about it. And he has success stories of people that now always go out with them, are always involved in it, and this is a way for them to get their mind off of things and grow and get back to to living their life. And our other guide, Drew from Drew's Guide Service, took people out peacock bass fishing. He does like almost 50% of his guiding is also soldiers that have PTSD issues and things like that, to go out fishing, get their mind off of things. And there's nothing for me like therapy of being out in the woods, and they're finding the same success. And they both brought it up so much that this trip was like so much about helping veterans and stuff like that. And I thought that was really special.
It was an unexpected theme.
Yeah, it was.
Because they're separate people.
Drew also has a nonprofit organization, too,
Yeah.
he said.
Yeah, yeah.
I can't remember what it was called.
I don't remember what it was called, but
I'm looking it up.
Yeah, he does quite a bit with that, and I think he said it was on his website.
And he said he took about 3,000 vets now since he started 10 years ago.
Yeah.
3,000 vets, yeah.
Another thing that was kind of struck me was Tom, the Python guide, was telling us about how there was this one soldier with PTSD, and he was just a massive dude, real mean looking dude, and had some anger issues, and he was having a really tough time going out and just associating with other people and just doing things. And then Tom took him out, and he came back to him and said, I don't have nightmares anymore. I have gotten back into painting.
Yeah,
And
he started painting again.
Yeah,
like
just
this big, massive, muscular soldier guy, and now he's like into painting and stuff like that, and his whole life's better, and
Yep.
all because he was able to, release and learn and grow and be in the outdoors and get that experience. And there's something special about being out in the wilderness, being out in the middle of the outdoors.
It does
But
have a
there,
life force.
that close to God, the therapy it brings is just second to none.
He said that it's a good way to get people out into the outdoors, into that environment where there's some danger, but not, you get the adrenaline rush. You get that, and he said it puts hair on your chest. But it does. But it's a manly experience that you get to go out and do this. But it's not the same. It doesn't have the same triggers. He doesn't do the euthanization while he has PTSD patients with him, because he doesn't want to anything that could potentially be any kind of trigger for them. That he wants to avoid that. So he's very
It's just the adrenaline rush of
about
grabbing
how
him.
he does it. But it also is very helpful for them to get them back into like a normal. You can have these experiences. You're not just sitting on a couch now, coming back from one extreme to the other.
Pumping
Not to
full
mention,
pills.
both these guys are probably the ultimate people to talk to and vent to, and so God bless them both. I'd recommend them both if you want to
Very much.
try and learn about pythons, or if you want to fish for peacock bass, probably one of the most sought after fish in the world because they're only in very small areas. I would recommend both of them, and I thank them for what they do for the military. Our tip of the week this week was really interesting to find out, and we found it out by chance because we called somebody about the iguana hunt that we were going to do. We'll not have a full episode on it this season, but we will next season. And when we talked to them, they said they were really worried about where we were going to be iguana hunting because they wanted to make sure we weren't doing it someplace that would be close to people. And the reason for that was because a lot of times people will put rat poison and things like that. I don't know if that's illegal or there's just no rules on these iguanas anymore.
I don't think
I
there's rules
feel
on
like
it.
there's no way that can be legal.
I think it. Yeah.
So the guy that I talked to, he was basically an exterminator. He removes iguanas from homeowners associations, apartment buildings, that kind of thing, like very public areas, parks, to try to get rid of these things because they are a non-native, they're an invasive species. And I'm talking to him about, hey, is there anything you can do to provide more information? You're an expert on iguanas. And he said, well, number one, I'm going to tell you that you probably shouldn't do what it is that you're planning on doing because we were going to go to a park. And he said, you probably shouldn't do that, or you should make sure that that park is not incredibly close to any kind of private land where people just have houses.
Yep.
I'm like, that doesn't really make sense. That's where they all are. Why wouldn't you do that? He said, a lot of people, and you would be astounded at the number of people that do this, are trying to get rid of iguanas in their own backyard, and they'll put rat poison or whatever in a piece of mango. The iguana comes up, eats that rat poison. They're thinking it'll get rid of it. It doesn't. And they just keep coming around. It's like, it just didn't work. So then they call the exterminator. Well, they said by that point, it's eating the rat poison. That iguana's going to die, but they don't have the same digestive system. It takes a lot longer for the iguana to get through that stuff. So it will actually die, but it could take months.
Right.
So this poor animal's suffering. It's eating rat poison,
horrible.
Drano, Tylenol.
Yeah, Drano's
Horrible.
a big thing.
You got to hope you get one of the ones with Tylenol.
Because you got a headache,
true.
you can
I
have
mean,
some iguana
that-
tacos.
But but he
true.
said you shouldn't eat iguana that has been close to public areas where people have houses, because people are doing this all over the place. They have no concern for the animal itself. They're just trying to get rid of it. And
I would think that this wouldn't even be isolated to just iguanas. Anything that people might poison or put out something that might eat, to be careful of. But if you're going to kill an animal for any reason, I think it needs to be quick, clean, and ethical.
you
And
know what you're doing.
I'm pretty against all those. So the tip of the week this week is, if you're going to hunt iguanas, do it in an area where there's not a lot of houses so that you're not in danger. And then I'm going to go right into our social media comment of the week. And the social media comment of the week was from Jess, who actually is with New Radio Media, and I love this guy. And I made kind of a joke about it, but I said the kings are the future kings of outdoor TV, which I believe we will be. We're not there yet, but we will be there. However, Jess said, What do you mean future? God bless him. He thinks we're the Kings now. We're not yet, Jess, but we appreciate your comment. I thought that was
awesome.
Pretty cool of you to say. Now, the teaser that I've put out for this episode for a while now was our new partner that we were super proud to have. And that new partner...
Amazing partner.
Our new amazing partner. I still get the chills talking about it. Ram Trucks will be the official sponsor of the Greenway Outdoors moving forward. So the show actual name, when you're looking it up on, DVR and things like that ahead of time or any other thing, it'll be
the guide on the...
Yeah, the guide. It'll say Ram Trucks presents the Greenway Outdoors. We'll be including Ram in a lot of our episodes. They're a wonderful company. They've got the all-new truck out now. We just picked ours up. It's amazing. The technology in them are incredible.
2019 Motor Trend Truck of the Year.
It is. And the fact that we get to partner with a company that's that big, and my godfather has worked for them his whole life, and many other family members have worked for Ram. This is my third brand new Ram in a row. We got the new one dirty, as you can see there. But we're just so proud and grateful and really honored to partner with a company like Ram and how awesome they are. And it's giving us the opportunity to do a lot more with our content, a lot more with our show, and just God bless them, and thank you so much for the opportunity, and we're not going to let them down. So I'm pretty excited about that. Amongst all the events we have coming up, we have a lot of wild game dinners coming up in February and March, but also on January the 3rd from 5:30 to 9 p.m. at the 242 Church in Brighton, we are going to have a wild game dinner mixed with a premiere event that is going to be outstanding. We're going to announce it on Facebook tomorrow and get just doing the audience. It's going to be an awesome event. There'll be a red carpet there to get your pictures taken with us and by yourself.
Because we're so cool.
Yeah, I hate that. I really don't. Christy was saying on the call, she's like, yeah, the meet and greet. I'm like, you got to call it that. I don't think anyone really wants to meet us.
We know where we're at with that.
We smell.
Like,
I barely smell good.
What we do is cool, but
yeah.
Even if that's the case where we get to the point where people are like, oh my God, can I get your autograph? Like,
I ain't doing it.
Yeah, because you support the show and that's cool, but like, do you
don't
really
need
want
my
it?
autograph.
It's just a weird situation. But there's going to be an elk carving station, venison meatballs, barbecue wild boar, rabbit casserole, green beans and boar bacon, redskin garlic mashed potatoes with squirrel gravy, coleslaw, French bread, and butter, and something I can't pronounce.
That's hors d'oeuvre.
Oh, really? That's
alligator hors d'oeuvres with pheasant
That's
gumbo.
how you spell hors d'oeuvres?
Yeah, it's a French word.
French, buddy.
No kidding. I've dodged that my whole life.
I had no clue.
I was like,
and alligator hors d'oeuvre.
So alligator pheasant gumbo for an hors d'oeuvre.
No, it's alligator hors d'oeuvres and pheasant gumbo.
Maybe just mix them together. Well, some people don't pick one thing on their plate at a time and eat it like a weirdo.
Yeah,
so
because I'm not a savage.
I like to take bites of everything and mix it all in. That's me.
Civilized.
You also eat steak with ketchup.
And crab legs with ketchup.
Yeah.
And hates Japanese.
God,
I
look at what we just
hate
did.
Japanese food.
We just lost half of our viewers just now.
Yeah.
How dare you?
What?
They click off because I like ketchup. I never grew out of that.
Best steak in the world. Do you have any ketchup?
Delmonico. Delmonico with ketchup.
No, we don't have ketchup. You know what? Give me the steak. Get out. Get out.
I don't care. You guys are embarrassing. I'm not embarrassing.
Sure.
So the event, like I said...
Do you have any Play-Doh that I can put
The
on?
event, like I said, is going to be January 3rd. It's going to be from 5:30 to 9 p.m. at the 242 Church in Brighton. We'll be selling tickets online, and we're going to be announcing that through our social media pages tomorrow. So you can look that up, and if you're listening to this on YouTube, then it's probably already available. So go pick up your tickets, and we look forward to seeing you there. It's going to be an awesome event, and the food's going to be fantastic. I put this together because I thought it was wicked funny. I named the segment When Vegans Attack because I hammed it up a
Think
bit.
of Mars Attacks.
But we're going to go ahead and roll a tape. And this is just like little rough cuts, and I'm just going to speak over it while we do it. But basically what happened was there was just these two guys fishing, and I don't know where it was taken. It looked like it might be Florida. I'm not 100% sure. But they were fishing, and they were approached by a group, and I forgot the name, but they got it on the shirts in the show when you see it. But they've got the shirts on, and they came up and they started heckling these guys because they were fishing, and fishing was apparently not good with a bunch of vegans that were there from this organization. So as you can see now, I'm rolling the footage. Bear with me because it's only in 480p because someone took this on their cell phone. There's a fish that they caught and they're putting it there. And this guy in the blue shirt is yelling at him. So the guy on the right in the darker blue shirt is actually defending him, telling him to get out of there. And he's wicked upset because these guys are fishing legally. They had their fishing licenses. They were doing everything right. And he's screaming at him. The guy's on the phone because what happened was Animal Liberation Now is the name of the group. What happened is the guy in the Animal Liberation shirt actually went and grabbed the fish that the guys caught and threw it back in the water.
Wow.
And so it took their possession. And his excuse was, he said, well, you took the fish from its home, so I'm just putting it back. You're the bad person because you caught the fish.
You probably wasted the fish now. That fish was...
It couldn't have survived.
No.
It depends on how long you had it out of the water,
Yeah,
but like...
completely.
I'm not going to go into the details of that. The idea is just sickening in the fact that these two guys are fishing. I picture these are the things where I worry about my dad just being out in public, because if someone did that to him, they would get broken in half. If someone took his fish and threw it back in the water, just split in two, I think he'd...
long ways or at the waist?
I feel like at the waist. I feel like he's still strong
zipper.
enough that he would just... Yeah, like a zipper. What movie is that? What am I thinking?
It's Men in Black.
Men in Black. Of course it's Men in Black. If we're quoting it, it's Men in Black.
Is there a vine lady on the inside? Or what?
It's number 2. It's the guy with the all those things that come off of him.
It is.
Yeah.
But anyhow, what happened there was, and I watched the whole video, which was 21 minutes long, and it was a little bit brutal. With the sound, it's even worse. We didn't put sound because I took it off of YouTube, and I don't feel like getting sued. So, but what happened was, the guys are just there fishing in a park, have a fishing license, doing everything legally. They caught a fish, kept it, and this guy came up and was screaming at them, heckling them, swearing at them, getting in their face, doing all these dumb things because they were fishing, and it was just stupid. I mean, it was sickening.
Quite the guy, the Animal Liberation guy, is got quite a set on him for coming up and just straight up doing that.
And
especially
you
to that
had to
guy.
think their confrontation was coming. I mean,
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And you could just see that this guy was so passionate that he's one of the people that don't believe in deodorant either.
Yeah.
You can just, I can
It
smell.
gets tested on animals, so I should smell.
I can smell him through the video.
They have some that aren't tested on animals.
they really do.
They do.
And it's good stuff too.
I had seen this video months ago and read an article on it. And I don't know this for a fact, but I feel like
Fact check.
Either from this or something prior, that man had criminal charges. The one who threw the
Oh,
fish
yeah,
in.
no, that's a thing. Yeah, that's like Kyle said, that's taking someone's property.
No. He had criminal charges before that.
I think there was something where
did
he was a criminal before he did
Oh.
this to someone.
Oh,
No, I actually.
Oh, I see.
But it was something else like this, I think.
Yeah, where he just goes out and messes with people
And
like that.
the thing is, though, these people are in a park. They're minding their own business. They're just there fishing, catching food. Like, why? I just don't. I'm never gonna try and
You usually
understand
don't see
that
that
mentality.
type of aggressiveness from that side of the argument. The ones that are trying to.
yeah.
You don't think so? I think so. There's
I mean,
a ton of videos.
Maybe
out
you're
there.
right.
Yeah,
like when
there's.
they throw blood on the people that wear
paint-
fur.
the
so
paint,
That's
yeah.
true.
Well,
I stand corrected.
You can also look it up on YouTube. They have videos of deer hunters just
Yeah, there's
sitting in their
tons.
stand, and there will be some lady. They'll walk through the woods, make noise to scare the deer, or just walk up to the hunter and be like, "You need to get out." And they're
Wow.
like,
They'll
"Well, this is public
scream.
land."
They'll scream to scare all the deer away.
Yeah.
There's people that have dogs that they run in the woods to flush all the deer out if they know that there's a deer hunter in there.
Yeah.
Wow.
There was another case. I heard about this, but I don't know where I heard it from. But you can use wherever the state was. The person was doing falconry for ducks, which apparently was a thing there. And Jeff, the falcon. You sound like the Eagle Review commercial.
Yeah.
But the lady. A lady went out and killed the falcon, which is like an
Oh, no.
expensive bad thing because it was
Yeah.
killing the ducks, which is like the guy's property. And I want to say that there was some weird protection thing if you kill somebody's falcon, that it was like very, very much money she had to pay and
It's not
fines.
legal
And,
to kill falcons.
right. Well, it was the person's falcon.
Yeah, right.
You know.
Still, it's a falcon though.
Yeah.
I think there's
It
laws
was,
against.
like heavily frowned upon.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
He kills the fountain to protect the ducks.
Yeah,
so it's like
because the
you're-
fal-
what?
go ahead, say what you want to say.
I
'cause
just don't understand what you're,
So-
what you're saying.
It's a giant oxymoron.
Insanely.
Yeah, because what's really funny is that same person will be mad at you for killing a predator, like a mountain lion, or they're killing sea lions now. Is it sea lions or seals? I think
Sea
it's
lions.
Sea
Sea lions
lions
are legal on the West Coast now.
on the West Coast because they were killing all the salmon. So they did that to help with the numbers there. That was one of the articles that I read that said that. And the same people will be mad because you're hunting sea lions because they're killing all the salmon, but yet they'll kill a falcon to protect a duck. It just...
I don't understand that.
The thing that really pisses me off is that...
Oh, we're just swearing now? All right. Boom!
You would consider that swearing?
I would. But anyhow, go ahead.
I don't know about that.
Go on with your...
I agree with that.
With your curse
Your
rant.
potty mouth.
So these no.
Sinner.
But the thing I don't get is when people they'll argue against, oh, you shouldn't kill off this thing, and then it's like a victory when they get, now you can't hunt that, or you can't hunt it with dogs, or you can't. But then immediately after that, then the government still realizes, oh, well, these things are still overpopulated, so now we have to send in sharpshooters, we have to send in all these other things, and that's okay. That doesn't get argued against.
It doesn't get publicized because at the end of the day, it has to be done.
Yeah.
So
the same number of
it's
animals
how
still
you do
gets
it.
taken, but just they go to waste.
You just better not. You better not pay for it, and you better not help the natural resources to do it. You better be You better be getting paid and taking money from the taxpayers, and then sharpshooting it and not eating it. That way, they feel comfortable with it. Because that's what makes sense, and that's literally the exact example for mountain lions.
Let it all
in
go to
California.
waste.
Yep, yeah, because they kill a person, they're killing all the cattle, or there's too many of them, so they pay sharpshooters lots and lots of money to go out and kill them, and then they don't eat them.
Yep.
Wow.
Just
Yeah.
a complete waste.
As opposed to hunters paying in to get licenses for conservation, and then going out and hunting them, keeping numbers in check naturally.
Yep.
And by naturally, I mean, and then eating them. Because if you ever had mountain lion, apparently it tastes like the best pork you've ever had in your life, and I'm dying to try it.
The other white meat.
The other white meat, but I you got to be careful with those too, because they're any predators you got to be careful with the
Is that trichinosis?
Yep.
Trichinosis,
Yep,
yeah.
you got to be careful with that. So you got to cook them well
But
done.
it all, I guess mountain lions different.
So you're good then.
But
Yeah.
it all depends on what their diet is.
I just know I'm gonna get trichinosis with all the dumb stuff we do. It's like guaranteed.
I probably have it from that fish.
Yeah.
What the Japanese food? Probably.
No, biting the head off that minnow.
Yeah, that minnow was a top predator. You're in real danger.
You know what? Now I kind of wish that we hadn't helped him out and said trichinosis, because he was looking for the word, and I wonder what
he would have come up with.
You know, bapapanosis and
I would have fumbled around on that one for a while.
He would have just looked around at us like, "Come on, guys, say it."
I'm glad that we're back from our trip for only one reason. Otherwise, I would love to be back in Miami. But I'm glad because we needed a bit of reality again, because we had spent too much time together. We were getting way too savage.
We were so mean to each other.
Anytime
was
anyone
amazing.
said anything, we were aggressively attacking that person. How
was
dare
awful.
you have
Not out
said
of-
that useful thing that was helpful? You're getting it.
Not out of anger, just out
It
of
was just funny.
guys being guys.
No. Oh
It's
my
like,
god.
What happened when Kyle was wrong about something, and I stood
I
up for it.
pronounced a word. Oh, and yeah, I said something. You stuck up for me, and then I turned on you, so everyone would turn on you. That's the savage level we were at.
It's like, yeah, no, he was right.
I
And
made
just
fun of you
saying,
for
no,
helping
yeah.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Way to help someone else.
when you're four best friends traveling all over the world, doing hunting and fishing trips, and filming a TV show that's funny and a reality show. You're just savage to each other, but I wouldn't.
It's awesome.
I wouldn't change it for the world. And continue to follow us on our social media, our Instagram, our Facebook, and our YouTube channels. And this, hopefully, if you're listening to this on the New Radio Media app or the website or iTunes or Google Play or Spotify or however all you kids are listening to podcasts now, also check it out on our YouTube so you can visually see it, all the videos that we were talking about, and all the pictures and stuff, because I think it adds a lot to it. So check us out on YouTube as well. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Greenway Outdoors. We'll see you next week. Stay green. We don't have any trouble getting through